y'all. Welcome to another episode of Sanusi Not Life. My name is Adewale Agboke Jr. Please review us, rate us, give us a 5-star. Don't be a hater. Today, we have a special guest. We're going to talk about music and how it affects art. But before I do that, let's thank our sponsors. This podcast is brought to you by A4 Capital Consulting, growing good business anywhere and everywhere. At A4 Capital Consulting, take your business to the next level. That's A4CapitalConsulting.com for details, y'all. A4CapitalConsulting.com for details. And this podcast is also brought to you by Anadel Foot and Ankle. Don't live with foot pain. Let Anadel Foot and Ankle make your feet happy again. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. Like I said today's a special guest. He's a mentor to me. He's the reason why I can do all these drawings y'all see. He's the former head of the art department at Long Beach City College. He's a surfer. He makes surfboards. That's his business too. All around incredible guy. He's a Rams fan. They just won the championship last year, so they got plans to defend it this year. Mr. Larry White, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Adewale. And yourself?
I'm good, sir. It's always good to see you, man. I mean, I feel like I'm one of those students just lucky enough to have had his mentor in his entire career. It's very rare that I can actually talk to my mentor every week if I want to. You know, I don't know too many students that can talk to their mentors every week or whenever they want to.
My pleasure, indeed.
I'm so grateful, sir. So how you been, sir? One of the reasons I wanted you on today, sir, was to talk about music, because in class, you introduced me to so many types of music. I'm talking rock and roll. You are a big hip hop fan. A lot of people don't know that. This man loves him some Tupac. And then as we were in class, we'd play stuff like Otis Redding, Duke Ellington, Phil Collins, Eagles. I mean, the list is endless. So I'm gonna let you talk about it, sir. But that's why I brought you on to talk about music and art and how they intertwine. So really, sir, this first question actually came from you. So my first question, sir, is what are the historical parallels and creative similarities of music and art? Because that's something you talked about before we even came onto the show.
If you look at art history and musical history, they really follow parallel lines. And if you started contemporarily, you could see like 1950s abstract expressionism, John Coltrane, Miles Davis, really free-form jazz and abstract expressionism, non-representational. They're very similar in nature. Abstract expressionism faded out and it got more pop with things like Lichtenstein and Andy Warhol and rock and roll. If you go back in the Renaissance, very detailed, complex music, Renaissance painting, very detailed, complex, and they follow similar tracks like that.
Wow, that's wild, because one of the things, I never had a great appreciation for music till one day we were in class and you made me a bunch of different CDs. I mean, like I said again, Percy Sledge. I'm like, I've never heard of any of those people. And now I'm obsessed with those songs, because when I look back at music now, I'm like, what we listen to now is trash compared to what they got. Because what they created was original stuff. I'm talking about actual raw talent, minus the technology that they're using today. I mean, like we would listen to Percy Sledge, Otis Redding, the Eagles, oh my God, Clinton. I can't remember this guy, Michael Bolton. I mean, that would be just different songs. I'm just like, Ray Charles. I mean, it was just endless, man. I was just like, what the heck is this?
Funkadelics.
Yes. I mean, it's some of the coolest.
Persuasions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and when I would listen to songs, I'm like, wait a minute, that beat came from that song. This is wild. You know what I mean? So that is one of the reasons why I want you on the show, people to understand what music and how they come together. The next question, sir, is what type of music do you like to listen to when you're creating art? Because I know what you listen to when we're in class. So, when you're doing your own thing.
Pretty much jazz. Okay. And so I'll put on like 3 or 4 CDs, and for the most part, they're going to be jazz. Like I said, Coltrane, Miles Davis, Art Tatum, Dave Brubeck. but they'll usually be like Earth, Wind, and Fire, man. I can't get away from them.
Oh yeah, those guys. They just went into the Hall of Fame like 5 years ago. I can't believe it was just 5 years ago, which is
like
ridiculous.
That. No, but like September song comes on, and I'm just, I'm in it.
That's wild, man. Because you guys had better music back then, like I say, which is, I know it's hard for a lot of people to accept that, but it's just the truth.
Yeah, my life, say, you have things that define when you were born, or
right.
And I'm basically as old as rock and roll.
That is.
Before I was born, they didn't have rock and roll.
Well, you don't look the age though, but I think the thing about you is though that you're more modern than most people that I know that are in your age group, because if I talk about Tupac, you know about him. If I talk about Jay-Z, you know about him. If I talk about about Sam Cooke, you know about him. You're not limiting yourself to one type of music, and you are really the reason why I listen to Linkin Park a lot, Nirvana. Like my bands are set like this. It's Linkin Park 1, Nirvana 2, Red Hot Chili Peppers. People are like, this guy listens to that? Yeah, I listen to that because it stuff sounds good. That's why I listen to it. You know what I mean? Every day, and I always say, people, the reason why I listen to all these different types of songs like that is because my instructor in school, Larry Wright, opened me up to different types of music. Up until then, I was like a hip hop child. Like after that, I was like, nah, I need to grow out of this. I want to hear all kinds of sound.
People will say, I'll hear them, and they go, oh, I hate country western, or I hate hip hop, or I just can't stand rap.
Yeah.
And there is no bad genre of music or art. There's a lot of bad stuff created.
Yeah.
But you go within the genre, and there's going to be great stuff.
You're going to find something.
Endeavor produces great work.
Right.
Public Enemy.
Yep.
I mean, just powerful, change the world kind of stuff.
Yeah, music. The message in the music, because that's the problem. I think the greatest admiration I have for you guys is your generation's music had soul in it. It had purpose. I mean, yes, it can make your feet move and make you all happy and stuff, but there was always enlightening music that opened up your mind. You guys were like the CNN of information, that generation, because they would tell us what the hell. Can you imagine if Bob Dylan didn't write some of the songs he did, Jimi Hendrix, or what's this gentleman from the Beatles? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm forgetting this man. John Lennon. Yeah, those three guys in particular. If those three guys didn't say something, half the stuff we saw in the 70s with the Vietnam War and all this other stuff wouldn't have ended. I
can easily say that the Beatles were the greatest musical group of the 20th century. This goes from ragtime at the turn of the 19th to the 20th century, right up to punk at the end of the 20th century.
Right.
Nobody did more great creative work changing the way music is understood than the Beatles did.
It's just music, man. I mean, that's music for you. That's why I don't understand why people limit themselves. But I like I said, I have such an appreciation for like rock and roll. There are days when all I want to listen to is rock and roll. That's it. I'm talking about my Nirvana, because that's my generation. So Linkin Park, Nirvana, Red Hot Chili Peppers. And then I might go old school and I want to hear my Jimi Hendrix, listen to Jimmy Page. And I'm saying these names, and people are like, who the hell are all these guys? I said, those are the dudes that created the crap that you listen to now. Where do you get these ideas from? You know what I mean? So that's hilarious. Now, next question, right? Because we're talking about moods now. Do certain songs create certain artistic moods?
Sure. Yeah. Like I said, when I'm working, I'll generally listen to jazz because it just flows. You don't have to pay close attention to it. It's back a sort of free flow environment. I don't know if any studies have been done doing this, but I'm sure if you took an artist's work and then had the music they listened to while they create it, you're going to see some parallels there. A study like that's been done, but I think of different people that I've been in their studios and seen them working, and a lot of people will listen to classical music. I have friends that listen to heavy metal, rap, and I think it's always reflected in what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
I try to not listen to stuff that I have to pay attention to.
You want something that just like, it's just my mind is open. It's just back there.
Yeah.
That's funny because you don't want to be like for example, like I like to create pencil sketches on Sunday. So of course every Sunday is Tupac Day. So from the minute I get up, I'm gonna listen to Tupac all the way till I get to about 6 p.m. and then I gotta listen to me or whoever and then listen to Fela Kuti. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get them 3 dudes in real fast. And then I don't know if, like you said, it's background music. You know, I'm hearing them say what they're saying and the beat, but it's actually helping my creativity because I've realized when I draw, when I'm not hearing sound, it's kind of corny. It's like this is horrible. Like these drawings suck. So I've just learned to I'm gonna put background music behind me when I'm doing something. And like even in class, I used to love that you would, a lot of students be looking left and right, like, what do we listen to? Like, open up your damn ears, because you'd play. I mean, that playlist had every type of song you could think of in there. We'd go from Red Hot Chili Peppers to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Would go from Red Hot Chili Peppers to Louis Jordan from the 40s to
Otis Redding.
Otis Redding back down to Bill Haley and the Comets.
Yep, stuff you ain't never heard of.
Nina Simone.
Shoot.
Michelle, I can't even say her last name. Indica.
Yeah. I mean, it's just endless types of music, and that's the beauty of music. I love
India.Arie.
Yep, India.Arie. There you go. I mean, and that's one thing I loved about the class was always would listen to different stuff, and it opened me up to. I don't think if I never met you, I honestly probably would still be a hip hop child. I would have never known all these different songs, but by meeting you, I'm like, I mean, he literally. Mr. White, you literally gave me a stack of CDs. It must have been 20 CDs of different, and I still have them. I still have it in a case that I keep it in because I had to burn those CDs and put it back on my iPod and my phone just so I could get them back. You know what I mean? I'm talking about Sade, Sam Cooke, Billie Holiday. I mean, this man opened me up to so many types of music, and music I really think is a powerful tool that helps you create an artistic mood or just anything in general that you're doing. You might be mowing the lawn, you want to hear some music. Repairing your car, you want to hear some music. You walking through the grocery store, you're hearing some music. So it's even at the football game, the Rams, they play different stuff. So it's pretty cool, man. I think it does have a function in our lives, man, which leads us to our next question. What artist, this is a funny one right here. What artist in history do you think would have made a good musician? And there's a lot of great artists. So this would have been interesting. I know one guy, I think he would have done something. I'm going to let you say who you like.
Man, that's a good question. I didn't see that on the list.
Yeah, it's all good.
But oh man, big names come to mind.
Of course, Rembrandt, Monet, Bosky, all these different legends.
I'm going to go with Picasso.
Okay.
Just because the older I get, the more I appreciate him.
Yeah.
I remember talking with a friend of mine, art historian, Dr. Carol Romer, about when I was in Paris and I went to the Picasso Museum. And I told her, I said, that's the only time I've ever looked at a piece of work and had it bring tears to my eyes.
Man.
And I realized the more I've looked at Picasso that he did every movement in the 20th century better than anybody else. He did Cubism, but he did it better than everybody else. He did ceramics. He did it better than anybody. Everything he did was just as good as it gets. So I'm talking to Carol and I said about going to the museum. And I said, I really think that Picasso was probably the greatest artist of the 20th century.
Right.
And she said, just the 20th?
She ain't trying to limit that thing. You know, that's a good one. I like Bosky.
I think if he had done music,
yeah,
he would have been there. Yeah.
Wait, do you think now the top? See, you didn't now the type of music too. Or has it been classical music, piano, organ, violin? What's he gonna do? Rock and roll?
Probably would have developed a new genre.
I
really
It'd have been like Nirvana. It'd have been like Nirvana. He would have done like that.
There's no telling.
Man, that would have been cool. I choose Bosky. I think Bosky would have been. Bosky would have been good at reggae and hip hop. That's why I'm putting Bosky, because he would have been that dude. Like and definitely he would be able to sing. That's for sure. He'd be able to rap, write his own lyrics. He wouldn't be one of those dudes having ghostwriters. He gonna keep it 100. You know what I mean? I'm choosing Bosky because I think he would have been good. I think another guy that would have been awesome would have been maybe Jackson Pollock. That's another good one. Monet would have been good. I'm trying to think who else. I'm gonna use Tupac, but Tupac would have. What comes in our next question? Tupac would have been good a different way. You know what I mean? Fela Kuti for sure. You know I'm not leaving Fela out. You know what I mean? Who else? Oh God, I'm trying to think of another artist. I can't think of anybody else. Those are the dudes that I know for sure. They would have laid the law, and they would have went platinum. They would have been selling records like Sting and Michael Jackson. I'm talking a whole bunch of records.
John Lennon and Yoko did some very interesting visuals in addition to the music.
Okay.
I'm not a real big fan of John and Yoko's work together.
Right.
I mean, there was some good stuff.
Right.
But she influenced him and he influenced her.
Right.
And she was a visual artist to begin with. He, of course, musician. But they created a pretty interesting synergy.
Right. So now, that's pretty cool. Now it's on to our next question, the reverse. Which musician do you think would have made a good artist?
Frank Zappa.
Okay.
I mean, that's just the first one that comes to mind. I bet Miles Davis.
Okay.
Man. Oh, David Byrne from Talking Heads.
Okay.
Because for him, the image of the performance was really important, as well as the music itself.
Okay.
He just did that Broadway show. I don't know, and it was streaming on some platform. I'm not sure if it was HBO or Netflix, called American Utopia.
Okay.
And it is fabulous. Just really, really beautifully done. So, I mean, that's an example of a musician doing theater.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I think on this side, I'm going to say Tupac, Fela Kuti. I'm a big Phil Collins fan. I'm going to say Sade. Who else? I'm going to also say Celine Dion. I feel like she would have done something. Who else I'm trying to think? Those are the people that come through my head right now that I can think of. I'm like, they would put it down. They would definitely do something, man. Those guys would be awesome. That's all I can think of, man. Now, which brings us to our last question. You're going to love this one. Who is your favorite musician or band?
You know, I got a playlist called Desert Island.
Okay.
And the idea is if I'm trapped on a desert island and this is all I can listen to, nothing else. I looked through it the other day in anticipation of this question. And I mean, a couple answers just come out just right away, simple. Van Morrison is at the top of that. Van Morrison, Muddy Waters, Sonny Boy Williamson, Howlin' Wolf, Ray Charles, Nina Simone, Aretha Franklin.
Okay. That's a heavy list already, man. That list is heavy. That's a hammer list right there.
I mean, literally, I can put those on and
listen. Good. Yeah, I mean, for me, well, you already know two of my favorites already, Tupac and Fela Kuti. That's always the two dudes I'm always mentioning all the time. But I mean, the music, because the reason why I asked that question, because in class, there was always a cycle of different stuff. And that's what I loved about it. It was a constant cycle of different stuff. And that was the beauty of the music you did right there. I don't have any other questions, but those were, this is what I expect from the podcast. I've been wanting to talk about music and people don't understand I don't know, the marriage between art and music.
And, something we haven't talked about is, and we did this in a previous podcast where we talked about design in different art forms. And you can see that in music too.
Yep.
You'll have groupings, dominant groupings, subdominant groupings. You'll have crescendos, areas of interest, and then you'll have refrains that back off of that. So music and visual arts, just like theater and everything else, the same design concepts apply to all of those things. And it depends what you like musically.
Yeah.
Then how does that parallel the work that you do?
Right.
Or does it parallel? Is it a complement to the work you do?
Right.
Like, I think if I were to describe my work, I would say it's more rock and roll, but I'm listening to jazz when I'm making it, you know?
Right. I know you're a big jazz guy, and that's what got me on jazz. I think Fela Kuti, while people don't, when I bring him up all the time, he's partly Afrobeat. Well, no, it's partly African sound and jazz, and that's what led to the creation of Afrobeat. Who he's the originator of that. You know what I'm saying? So, for a lot of y'all who don't know Fela Kuti is, trust me, you'll know when you go Google that bad boy. You're like, that dude is
democracy,
man. Democracy. Them the Chris for head. You know what I'm saying? So, Mr. White. It was awesome. And for y'all don't know, this man right here is the biggest fan of Fela Kuti as I am. I mean, we're equal in terms of fandom. We love this dude. He's just, man. And the crazy thing is he's from the same town I'm from back home in Africa. From the same town. Like we are literally from the same corner of the block. It's some craziness, man. You know what I mean? It's a lot of talent that comes out of our
I undoubtedly played King Sunny Ade.
Yes. He's from Ondo State. King Sunny Ade is tight too. He's probably like 95 now, maybe. But he's got so many albums, 7 Degrees to the North. That's my favorite one, King Sunny Ade. If you don't know, Google that dude too. That's another dude that's the truth. He's toured worldwide, back and forth 3 times over. It's crazy. I mean, I can't think of anybody else, but the music has a synergy to art. I don't care what anybody says. I can't even work out without music. I will not work out if I don't have music. I can't do it. You know what I mean? So I'm sure you surf. I'm pretty sure they're going to create music for surfers pretty soon where y'all can put something in y'all's ear and y'all can do y'all thing.
It's there. It's there.
It's there already. See? See? It's there already. You know what I mean? So, Mr. White, as always, it was fantastic having you on, and I hope to bring you on again, find some excuse just to have you on the show. You know what I'm saying? But this is my man.
Any excuse is good.
Any excuse, man. You know what I'm saying? Any excuse, sir. Thank you so much for your time and being here, sir. And you have a fantastic day, sir.
You too. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir. Take care, sir. All right, y'all. And that's our show for today. We want to thank Mr. White for being here today, being the awesome gentleman that he is. And y'all don't forget, the Carjack Assassins comic book is coming out soon, the first official version. You know what I mean? So check that out wherever you're going to get it, which is sanusvision.com. Get your copy today so that when the actual bio book comes out, the actual comic book, you're ready to go, y'all. So y'all want to thank you for listening. This podcast is produced, written, and directed by yours truly, Adewale Booker Jr. Please check out our website at sanusvision.com. And please don't forget to subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen, whether it's Amazon, Desert, Spotify, Apple. And you can also listen to our podcast on our website at sanusvision.com. And please don't forget to check out our social media platforms at TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all at SanusVision. And please don't forget to review us, rate us, give us a 5-star. Don't be a hater. And as always, y'all, continue to aspire and achieve. Have a great week. Stay safe, y'all. Peace.